Hello, my name is Maria and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I wanted to go through a little stretch for our feet, our ankles, and our shins. I feel like it's a very overlooked part of our body. We do a lot of walking throughout the day, and it's very beneficial for us to stretch out our feet. I did this little stretch this morning and I felt so renewed. My feet felt so nice. So I wanted to show you guys, and I wanted you guys to follow along with me. So grab your mat and let's get started. So we're on our mat. I want you to come to the end of our mat and we are going to tuck our feet and sit back on our heels. This may be slightly a bit of an intense stretch for you, so I want you to be able to hold it as much as possible and as much as you can. So sit back into your heels. You are tucked and sitting on your toes. You're feeling this nice stretch. I will do some close-up shots for you too, so you will see exactly how my feet are, and you can follow perfectly along and feel the same benefits of the stretch. So we're in this pose right now. So just I want you to relax and breathe for a few breaths here in this pose. Just feel this nice stretch. If you're outside and it's cold, just feel that nice breeze on your skin. Grab a little hoodie if you have one to warm up. If you are feeling too much pressure, you may release and come back and sit on the back of your heels. So you're just sitting here and just repeat, go back into the stretch as comfortable as you are. Don't over push it if you feel pain. Definitely just let it go and just come back to it in a little bit. And then from here, we're gonna flow through a cat and cow pose. So on your cow, you're going to open up your chest wide, like your belly is popping out, arching your back, your hands are on your thighs, and you're lifting your gaze up towards the sky. And remember to inhale. And then on your cats, you're going to tuck your tailbone in, so your back will be flat. So you're tucking your tailbone in, rounding your upper back, tucking your chin into your chest as you're exhaling. And then just flow through cat and cow at your own pace. And inhale. Exhale, and let's do one more. And exhale. And come back to upright back as you did in your first position, and slightly bend forward and release your feet. They might be a little sore, so just kind of tap a little bit on the mat to shake off the little feeling that you had, and sit back on your heels. And now we're going to do a little bit of an ankle stretch. So we're going to sit in this pose on our shins, our tops of our feet pressed into the mat, and we're going to lift one leg, lifting our knee, so you're feeling the stretch down the front of your leg. Remember to keep your back straight, your shoulders are down and away from your ears. And then you're feeling the stretch and you're holding for a few breaths here. And release. And then we're going to do the same thing on our other side. So we're going to lift our right leg and lift it. So you're feeling the stretch down the front of your leg. Remember to keep your back straight. Your core is engaged to help you keep upright. Your shoulders are rolled back and away down from your ears. Your gaze is forward. and your hands are down by your sides, assisting with your balance. You can bring your hands here. It is up to you. This will be a little bit of a balance training too. And release. And then now we're going to do this on our both feet, both of our legs. So we're going to come a little bit down and lift both of our knees up. So now you're feeling the stretch on both of your legs. So you may need to adjust your hands now to kind of assist your balance here. And slowly release, come back down. Okay, nice. Okay, so now we're going to come into tabletop position. We're going to do a few stretches for our feet over there. So you're in tabletop position, and then I want you to extend your left leg out, tucking your toes so your foot is flexed, pressing the ball of your foot into the mat. So you're going to kind of shift back, pressing into your heels. So you're kind of pressing your calf. You're feeling this calf stretch. And then from here, I want you to shift forward, pressing still into your feet, and then untucking your toes and extending your foot, kind of like you're a little mini ballerina. And then again, shift back on your knee, on your toes. Your toes are rolled, and then you extend them back, and then as you open them, you're again flexing your foot, feeling that calf stretch. And just repeat this several times. And keep your back straight, your core is engaged. As you're flowing through this, you may need to adjust your hand position to help you, because you're moving kind of front and back to kind of get the greatest experience in this pose. So just adjust your positioning of your hands to as comfortable as you are. And this is a great calf stretch, one of my favorites. And then your toes are doing a nice job. Okay, we're going to do a few more times, and then we're going to switch onto our opposite side. Okay, and then release. Bring your leg back into tabletop position. I want you to extend your right leg now. Flex your foot, press into your toes, the ball of your foot into the mat, and kind of shift back so you're pressing into your calf. You're feeling this stretch along your calf muscle, and then shift forward. Your toes are still tucked, and then begin to untuck your toes and extend your foot so you're like pointing like a ballerina. And then shift back, your toes are still rolled, and then unroll them and then flex your foot and feel that calf stretch. And just repeat at your own pace. I want you to go not too fast on this to get the full stretch, because if you're simply just rushing, you're not really getting that nice benefit. I want you to feel it. Feel every little stretch in your muscle that you have going on. Okay, and then from here, return to tabletop position, bring your leg back. We're gonna shift our hips up towards the sky and come into downward facing dog. So tuck your toes, lift your hips, extend your legs. So you're in downward facing dog, and I want you to walk out your calves. Perhaps they're not as tight anymore after we did that little exercise and a little stretches. But just walk it out, see if you can place your entire foot on the mat. If you cannot just yet, that is perfectly fine. You will get there. And then remember, keep your shoulders broad and open. And tuck your core. And then I want you to do like a squat. So you're kind of working on your ankle, and then do a wave. So you're kind of coming on your tippy toes, rolling with your body. Make sure all of your foot is working. It's perfect. I love this. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just get your body moving. Okay, and one more. And come back into downward dog. We're going to walk on our tippy toes to a standing forward fold. So you may need to shift on the tops of your fingertips. And you're here. Inhale and fold. Engaging your core, making sure your lower back is nice and flat, rounding at your upper back. Reaching for your feet, your ankles, or your shins. Just feel this nice stretch. You can bend your knees, definitely. I like to do that too. Kind of gets me warmed up a little bit. Nice. And then bring your fingertips out. We're going to kind of roll on our heels and on our tippy toes. Ooh, you may feel this nice cracking sounds in your ankles. Ooh, this is a nice calf stretch too. So you're kind of assisting your balance, holding on with your hands out in the front and coming into your heels and onto your tippy toes. Do this several times, holding whichever position for a little longer than the other, if necessary for you, going at your own pace. Okay, and then from here, bring down your heel, come back to a flat foot. We're going to inhale as we lift to halfway lift. Your back is flat, so we're just resetting ourselves. We're going to next come into diver pose. Really nice on your tippy toes. So we're going to practice being swimmers. And then exhale as you fold back again. And then this time, kind of place your feet closer together so your big toes are touching. There's a slight sliver of space in your heel. And then begin to lift on your tippy toes. And then open your back so you're like in a halfway lift. Bring your hands back. You're in diver pose. Come up as high as you can onto your tippy toes. Hold here. And release. Fold again. Nice. And then we're going to inhale, come up into mountain. Inhale, bringing your hands up towards the sky. Bending slightly back, putting your palms together. Bringing them down to heart center. Ooh, that was such a nice little flow. Let's open up our hands. And then now we're at the top of our mat. So we're going to work our feet here again, coming up onto our tippy toes and back down onto our heels. So as we inhale, we're bringing our arms up and coming onto our tippy toes. And then as we exhale, we're bringing our arms down and coming onto our heels. So this is kind of happening fast. This is also a balance challenge for you in this pose. It doesn't have to be perfect. You're just remembering to work your balance and your ankles, your feet, your toes. Everything is working here together. And as you come through, so you have that little slight second as you're coming through the center, press like into all four corners of your feet. So your big toe, your little toe, and both sides of your back heel. So kind of readjusting yourself. So as you come down, just press slightly and come onto your heel. So let's repeat this several times. You don't have to go fast on this. And a couple more. And one more. This one's gonna be a good one. Your final one. And release. So come back. So now we're going to come into chair. It's a really good practice because you normally don't get to feel this as you're walking throughout your day. You're just walking, not even thinking about it. But as we're going to be in chair, and then later we're going to come to tree pose, we're pressing into all four corners of our feet like I just mentioned. It'll really be a grounding pose for you to feel the ground, feel the earth under your feet. So I want you to inhale, put your feet together, your big toes touching. There's a little bit of space in your heels. Inhale and bring your hands out in front of you. Palms can be facing down. They could be facing each other. Up to you here. And then we're here, slightly squatting, and you're feeling the grounding through your feet. And then your shoulders are back and down, away from your ears. Your back is flat. And then from here, we're going to bring our hands into a prayer position at heart center. And we're going to come up on our tippy toes. Yes, we're going to challenge our balance one more time. So come up and hold here for a few breaths. Challenge yourself. And release. Inhale as you extend back up to mountain pose. And then from here, we're going to come into tree pose. I'm going to come up with my left leg first. So I'm grounding and shifting all of my weight into my right leg, pressing into all four corners of my foot to help me with my balance. And then I'm going to lift my leg, opening my hip, pressing my sole of my foot into my inner thigh of my right leg. So I'm coming up. You may need to use your hands for a little bit of assistance. And then bring your hands to heart center, and you're in tree pose. And make sure you're not placing your sole of your foot on your knee. You don't want to press anything onto your knee. And you don't want to press anything onto your knee, causing any injury to your leg. Also, it is beneficial to wear probably not socks on a slippery surface of your pants, because that will cause your foot to slip. And release. Come back down. We're going to inhale, and we're going to swan dive into forward fold. Okay, and then from here we're going to step back with our left leg into a runner's lunge. So as you're stepping back, you're extending your left leg out, your knee is pointing down towards the mat, your right leg is bent at a 90-degree angle, your hands are assisting your balance on either side of your leg. And then here, I want you to lower your left leg down towards the mat, placing it and pressing your shin and the top of your foot into the mat. And then we're going to alternate between a low lunge and a half split. So that'll be very useful for us because we are going to be stretching our calf muscle as we come into our half split. So from here, inhale, bring your hand up towards the sky, bending back slightly, feeling that stretch in your hip flexor. And then exhale as you shift back your hips towards your heels. You may place your hands down on the mat and then flexing your foot so you're feeling the stretch along your calf. And then you can play around here, flex and extend. I really like to do this. It kind of makes me feel this nice stretch in different parts of my leg. And then shift back forward into your lunge. Inhale as you bring your hands forward, up towards the sky. Up towards the sky, and then shift back your hips down towards your heels and flex your foot. And then one more time, inhale into lunge, exhale into half split. And shift back, come into runner's lunge. We're gonna rotate and come into skandasana. So you're gonna shift on the ball of your foot, open up towards the front of your mat, opening your hip, pressing with your elbow into your right leg. And then your left leg is extended out, pointing your feet. You can also flex. I like to alternate, flex and extend, so you're feeling a stretch along your inner thigh. And then as you're in skandasana, you're feeling the stretch along your Achilles here. Really nice stretch. And then with your hand assistant, shift, lift up, and we're gonna come into skandasana on our left leg this time. So now you're extending your right leg out, bringing your hands together to heart center, pressing your elbow into your left knee, opening up your hip and leg, feeling the stretch along your inner thigh. And then as you're squatting in your left leg, you're feeling a nice stretch in your Achilles. If you're on the ball of your foot, that is perfectly fine. You're gonna get down to that full foot definitely soon if you keep stretching and practicing. Okay, now we're gonna shift, come back into runner's lunge on our opposite side. We're gonna repeat our sequence now on our opposite side. So from runner's lunge, you're gonna place your knee down on the mat. So now you're in a low lunge. Your left leg is bent at a 90-degree angle. And then we're gonna alternate between a low lunge and a half split. So as you inhale, you're coming into a low lunge, lifting your hands up towards the sky. And then exhale as you shift down, shifting into a half split, flexing your foot, feeling that stretch along your calf and your hamstring. I like to flex and extend here a couple of times. Making sure you're hinging at your hips, engaging your core, your lower back is flat, and you're rounding towards your leg on your upper back. And then inhale as you shift back into a low lunge, bringing your hands up towards the sky. And then bring your hands down and shift into a half split. And then one more time, inhale into low lunge. And exhale into a half split. And then come back up into a low lunge. We're gonna tuck our foot, we're gonna press up, and then we're gonna come into chair pose. So bring your legs together at the front of your mat, so you're in a standing forward fold. And then we're going to inhale and bring our hands up, out in front of us. Your palms are facing inward, or they're facing down. This is up to you. We're practicing our foot and feet stuff today, not really focusing on our hands. And then bring your hands to heart center. You're gonna lift on your tippy toes and then hold here for a few seconds. Hold, just hold for a little longer. Come up high as you can and release, lower. Extend. So you're in mountain pose. We can inhale, bring our hands up towards the sky. Bringing our hands to heart center. Opening our palms on the side. We're gonna come into tree pose now. This time grounding our left foot into the mat, pressing into all four corners of our feet. And we're gonna bring our right leg, the sole of our right foot into our inner thigh. Once again, this is most best done if you don't have any slippery pants on. I have my socks on and my slippery pants, so my foot is kind of sliding down a little bit, so make sure you take your socks off before you do it. So we're standing here in mountain pose. You're grounding, shifting your weight into your left foot, bringing, maybe with the assistance of your hand, your right foot into your inner thigh, pressing it, straightening out your leg, bringing your hands to heart center, and just standing here. You can close your eyes for balance if you wish to do so. Spread out your toes too. That'll really help you with your balance. And definitely possible one leg may be stronger than the other. So just keep practicing both sides until they become even. Keep your back straight, your tailbone is tucked, so you're not arching your back. Engaging your core, bringing your shoulders down away from your ears. And release as you bring your foot down next to your other foot, and you're in mountain pose again. And then we're going to inhale and exhale as we kind of squat down, bringing our hands to meet our mat, coming up to our tippy toes. Just kind of that final tippy toe stretch. And we're going to sit back into staff pose. We're just going to do a little bit, our final little feet stretches for the day to get our day started. Okay, so I want you to just sit back, take your hands next to your hips, and we're going to do several stretches. So I want you to first flex and extend your foot. Let's start with our right foot. You could do both actually at the same time, so let's do that. So we're going to do flexing and extending both of our feet at the same time, pointing and extending, making sure your back is flat, you're not rounding. And you can close your eyes, just let it happen, just let your feet flex and extend, feeling your stretches, feeling your feet, thanking them for all the walking that they do day to day. And then from here, I want to do a little bit of feet rotations, ankle rotations. So you're going to kind of lift your foot up, and we're going to rotate our right foot in one direction and then in the opposite direction. Okay, and then lower, and let's repeat that on our left foot. So you're going to rotate your foot in one direction. And then the opposite direction. And release. Now I want us to kind of turn our feet inward and then turn them outward. It might feel a little bit weird. I was trying this earlier today, and I kind of tried to do this little exercise using the help of my hand, because we're so not used to doing this exercises for our feet, so our muscles are not really sure what's going on. So kind of rotate them in and then rotate them out. Rotate them in and out. And then a few more times. And then one more time, rotate inwards and then rotate out. And then come back to neutral. You can shake it out a little bit. And then one other exercise that I wanted to do, it's really nice. I really love this exercise. Really kind of gets you thinking a little bit about your toes and your whole foot. So I want you to bend your toes. Like, feel that stretch, like in your toes. Kind of scrunch them up. Feel this like tightness. And then I want you to extend and bend your toes back. So it's like this nice feeling in your feet that you don't normally feel because you're just walking, not even noticing. So you're getting this arch of your foot stretch. You can even use your hands for a little bit of assistance to pull it down. Remember, don't do anything that causes you pain, just with slight assistance. Bend it back, and then scrunch your toes really like tight. You can even like help with your hands. And then bend them back. I like to help with my hands again here. But if you do it without your hands, you're kind of making your feet work on their own, which is kind of the goal for me here. I kind of want to practice my feet to know the motions rather than me just assisting with my hands and doing everything for my feet. So I kind of like them to, I like to practice so my feet would learn the muscle feelings on their own. And then again, tuck your toes together, scrunch them really tight. And extend. Maybe your pinky toe, your little toe can need a little bit of help. And let's do it one more time. Really scrunch your toes this time on your last time. Scrunch it tight, feel that nice stretch. And open your toes. Okay, and now from here, we're gonna come into a bound angle pose. This is really nice pose, kind of our last and finishing pose. So in this pose, we are stretching our inner thighs as the goal it is, but we're gonna be focusing today in this pose on massaging our feet. So you can just take your feet, press into the backs of your foot, your soles, just massaging, pressing your toes, just doing anything that feels good for your feet. Also, if you have any massage balls, you can kind of press into the ball, kind of along your foot. Just be here for a few minutes, a few seconds, a few breaths. Just press. And maybe you can fully open your feet and see them flat in front of you, and this would be perfect. So just like using your knuckles, kind of press into the backs of your feet. So spend as much time as you would like in this finishing pose. Massage your feet, just use anything that you can. And then once you're done, I hope you have a beautiful day. I hope this stretch was very beneficial for you and you feel like a renewed person. Thank you for joining me in this video. Please subscribe to my channel for more videos. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. I hope to see you back on the mat with me soon. Bye.